StrengthsFinder says identify deliberative as one of your strengths. You're careful, vigilant, and you're a private person. You know that the world is an unpredictable place, and in your life, you have the ability with the strength, deliberative, to be able to mitigate risk, to be able to help find out where the risky things are, and to work through all the questions, all the issues that might arise that could help to mitigate this risk issue. You don't like risk, and you want to make sure that you can try to work on it. It happens to be an extremely important strength. It's one that'll help a lot of the other strengths, people that have the other strengths, to be able to make sure that they're operating in a direction, headed in a direction that is a good direction, a solid direction, well vetted and well thought out. In my case, I have ideation, which is the ability to be able to see the connections between disparate phenomena, things that don't seem to have connections. I see the connections. And my wife, Teresa, she has deliberative, and it's her number 2 strength. It's very strong in her. And so when I talk about ideas, she helps me vet them. Well, before I understood what that was happening there, I thought all she was doing was pouring cold water on my really hot ideas. But that turns out not to be the case at all. What was happening was that she was seeing that I had this idea, and she would look at it and say, okay, well, what about this? What about that? And I thought she was giving me the 3rd degree. Well, of course, that's not the case at all. What she's trying to do is help me to vet it out, help me to understand where are the problems, where are the risks in this. And now that I understand that, it's a lot more fun, because I realize when she comes up with one of those, it's just one of these issues, one of these questions, it's just an opportunity to come up with another idea to fix the problem she's talking about. And it helps us to get through issues and to be able to do a better job, and to bring my ideas to a point where they can actually become reality and become useful. So to you, though, everything must seem in order, but beneath the surface you sense many, many risks. And so again, you're about risk mitigation. Rather than denying these risks, you draw out each one out into the open. Then each risk can be identified, assessed, and ultimately reduced. And that's the whole scenario I was talking about, is that consistently you'll find yourself working on trying to fix these risks, or trying to at least mitigate them. You're a serious person who approaches life with a certain reserve. You like to plan ahead so as to anticipate what might go wrong. So when you're going to plan a trip, for instance, you're going to look at a trip and say, well, it's what's the weather like? What are the road conditions like? That's the kind of thing you're going to be questioning. And as long as the people that are around you understand that you have deliberative, understand how deliberative works, they won't see you as somebody who's constantly trying to just find all the problems. They'll see you as somebody who's a great asset to them, somebody who can help them find out, okay, we're getting ready to go on a trip, and we're planning on going up to Washington, and it's December. Can you give us any ideas, or is there anything that kind of puts up a red flag to you? And they're going to say, well, do you have chains? It snows up there. Do you have a place to stay on the way up in case you get snowed out? Do you have enough money with you? Do you have, they're going to ask you that kind of question, and you will ask that kind of question, I should say. And so it's a very extremely useful strength to anybody, especially with somebody with ideation, or somebody who has a way of constantly making changes in their life and moving from one thing to another. You'll help them to mitigate the risk in those activities. You're careful not to give too much praise and recognition, so you're going to watch to make sure that somebody really is good at something before you go complimenting, because if you compliment too early, you find out there was a problem. How are you going to back out of that? So you'll be having a watchful eye out for that. For you, life is not a popularity contest. Life is something of a minefield. You identify the dangers, you look for them very carefully, you weigh their relative impact, and then you place your feet in deliberity. You walk with care. So I hope you understand what I mean by mitigation, and what I mean by risk mitigation, because that's who you are, and that's a very valuable strength to be able to use in a team environment at work, at home, with you work with both your spouse, children, friends, whatever your living environment is. This will be very helpful to people if they understand what it is. So it behooves you to help people understand by explaining this strength of deliberative. So here's your action items. You have a naturally good judgment, so consider a work in which you can provide advice and counsel to other people. So, and if you're a technologically inclined person, get the type of work where you can have an opportunity to advise people in how they might use the product, or advise people in how they might change an attitude about something, because it's going to be risky if they don't. You might be especially adept at legal work, at crafting sound business deals or ensuring compliance of regulations. So you might want to be the gatekeeper in a company, somebody who watches over the technology. You might be the person who looks at a business deal and tries to shoot arrows at it and say, or tries to shoot holes in it and look at all the problems and help people understand, here's all the issues, how do we get through them? So you'll be very valuable in that role. And during times of change, consider the advantages of being conservative in your decision making. So when the economy is moving around, when things are happening in life that you have no control over, you're the type of person who can bring some sanity to this discussion. You can check out the risks. You'll be able to spell them out and look at them, and they'll pop up pretty obvious to you, or they won't to other people. So you're confident in your own judgment. Always do what you think is sensible, regardless of the impact on your popularity. So when you get into an environment where there's people around you and you see the risk, follow your instincts there, because they'll be much more probable to be accurate than the people around you because of this deliberative strength. You see things that others don't see. So take responsibility for helping others think through their decisions. You will soon be sought out as a valuable sounding board. But here's a caution. Make sure that the people that you work with, that you're consistently talking about these risks with, understand that this is coming from your strength of deliberative, is not coming from an attitude that you don't want to see them succeed, or an attitude that you're scared that something might go wrong. They need to understand that what you're trying to do is help them see the risks and to help mitigate them ahead of time so that they don't get into some painful results of their actions. So you naturally build friendships slowly, and you check people out carefully. So just be aware of this. Let people know that you meet, especially if you're in the dating mode, or if you're in that kind of environment. Let people know that, hey, I get into relationships slowly. It takes me time to get engaged because I'm looking for the risks. I'm looking for the problems. I just let them know it's nothing wrong with them, and that it just takes you a little bit of time. They need to understand that, anybody that you build a relationship with. So be ready to partner with somebody with a strong command theme. Somebody with command, command of those people that say, I'm really sorry you have to die, but march. And so these people with command, they're going to be important to you to be able to know and to be able to work with, because they'll help you make some things happen. People with self-assurance, people that help give you some confidence about what you're doing and where you're going. Or somebody who has the activator theme. Now, activator is a theme that says, what are we doing? What are we sitting around here talking about it? We're spending way too much time trying to take care of every little problem. We need to move forward. They'll help you get off the dime a little bit, and you'll need that with this theme, because you'll have a tendency to search until the cows come home, if you know what I mean. Together you'll make many sound decisions, and my wife Teresa and I, with ideation and deliberative and our systems, we've learned to make much better decisions since we've been employing both these strengths in both of our lives, and it's been very productive. Explain your process of careful decision making to others. Again, that's going to be important for you, because people will see you as being just pouring cold water on all their ideas if you don't do that. Clarify that you highlight risk in order to take control and reduce it, and not that you highlight risk just to try to make somebody's idea look bad. That hurts people's feelings when you do that. So make sure that you explain that to them, and don't let others misconstrue you as tentative or fearful of action. They need to understand that you're not afraid of action. You just have to have the ducks lined up and understand where all the bumps in the road are before you head out on that journey.